Hi, welcome to yet another video. If you watched the last video, thank you. I appreciate you. If you're watching this video, thank you. I also appreciate you twofold. Today I was thinking about trying new things, and I feel like trying new things can be this scary thing oftentimes because there's so many unknowns, especially when it comes to creativity. Because creativity, when you put stuff out there, it's up for anybody to look at, anybody to judge, anybody to feel how they feel about. It's something that is personal that you're putting out there. So it feels like you're putting yourself out there a little bit. For example, if I were to decide that I want to paint today, I would go online and I would look for inspiration of other people who are painting and the kind of painting that I want to do and all these different things. And I know that for me, each time that I've done this, I feel less inspired and I feel more discouraged than anything else because I'm seeing someone who's been doing something for a really long time and I'm realizing the gap between where I am, someone who hasn't started, and someone who's been doing it for a long time. And I think that comparison is the number one killer of creativity. Something that I've had to come to realize is that I'm the only me in the entire world. You're the only you in the entire world. The way that I see things and the way that you see things is different from anybody else. No one has the life experience that you have. No one has been through the things that you've been through, seen the things that you've seen through your eyes. And so for you to not bring a creative expression that's from within you is an injustice to everyone else. Because the way that I see things is different than the way that you see things, and vice versa. And I think it's so important to bring our creative expression to the table. Because I realize right now there's so many people making content, and it feels like this endless amount of content creators and artists and all these different things. But I do want to encourage you that there's still room at the table because you have the greatest weapon of all time, your perspective, your creativity. And the number one thing that frustrates me so much is when people tell me that they're not creative. You're creative. You, the person watching, you're creative. I'm creative. We have put creativity in this box that it has to look like painting, making movies, taking photos, whatever it is, you fill in the blank. But realistically, you're expressing creativity every single day with the decisions that you make. The way that you decide to arrange your house, the way that you decide to get dressed and style yourself, the haircut that you choose, that's you expressing your creativity. If we start to lean into our creativity and realize that we are creative people, more can sprout from that. For me, I wouldn't say that I was a creative person probably 5 years ago, but I started to get around people that encouraged me and were like, yo, you're creative. The way that you problem solve is creative. The way that you see things is creative. The way that you have an eye for capturing certain things is creative. But I needed those people to help me to realize that. And I think it's really important to have people around you that are good friends, that you trust, that are going to encourage you in your creative process. I feel like for creative people, something that I've noticed is that we tend to create and create and create, but we don't put stuff out. And I believe that this is a defense mechanism. I believe that if we don't put stuff out and we're just creating it, we're hoarding it, and we're keeping it to ourselves and protecting it from other people critiquing it or not liking it. And I think that that's just the wrong way to look at things. The only way to get better and to create even better things is to put stuff out there and to try. If I just look at other people who are painting and I'm still wanting to paint, but I never paint because I'm so intimidated by these other people's paintings, then I'm never going to get anywhere. And then I'm going to beat myself up because I never even tried. I think it's so important to try and to put stuff out there as creative people. The best way that I have learned in doing anything creative has been by putting stuff out there. Because what I put out there is good, in my opinion. But the next thing that I put out there is going to be my best. And I have to think that way. I'm going to take the critiques that I'm receiving from people and I'm going to improve upon what I'm doing and maintain my artistic integrity somewhere in there. If I'm so afraid that people are going to reject me, I'm never going to launch, and I fail before even starting. It's important to take those first steps and to try and to put things out there. Having those people that you trust to show your work to. I create some things just for me because I like creating things. But some things that I create, I know other people can be inspired from and other people can enjoy. And so I'll share those with my friends and they'll be like, oh, that's good. Or, oh, this could be better if you tried this way. And by doing that and having that process and being more malleable in my creative process, I'm creating better things. When putting your stuff out there, you're going to get a lot of people who have thoughts and ideas about what you're doing. And I have people come up to me and be like, oh, you should do a video about this, or you should make a segment about this. And I'm going to listen to what they have to say, but I'm going to bring that before my creative friends who I trust, who have been with me through this process, and be like, hey, what do you think about this idea? Oh, that's great. Oh, that's not so great. And then move from there. I think understanding what criticism to take and what criticism to leave is really important in your creative process. Because if you have a specific thing that you're going for and people are like, oh, you should change this, but you're like, no, this is exactly what I want. Trust your gut. Go with it. Put it out there. The only thing you can do is be better the next time. But you're not going to learn until you put something out there. I'm going to say that over and over and over because that's the most important thing about creating is putting it out there for people to see. I'm not going to take advice from somebody who's not in a place that I would want to be. If this random person who has never put anything out, who's made a bunch of stuff, but they're stockpiling it, is telling me that I need to do this, this, and this about what I'm creating, I'm not necessarily going to listen to them because they're coming from a place of, being scared to put stuff out or being, hurt by putting something out in the past. It's important to get around people who are putting things out there, who are creating that you feel like you're running with. Because there's just this unexplainable feeling when you get in a room of creative people and you just feel so inspired. I think it's important to stay inspired when you're around creative people so that you can inspire them and they can inspire you. We've established you're a creative person. You have this idea of what you want to do creatively. Now, what next? I think that it's so important to create an easy routine that you can maintain. For me, I like making videos, clearly. Now, do I always feel like making videos? No. If I didn't post a video, would anyone probably notice? No. But I'm doing this for myself because I love myself and I care about myself. So I have created a routine of these are the days when I shoot, these are the days when I edit, these are the days when I post. And you don't have to post 3 times a day. I know there's a lot of different people that are like, oh, this is the hack to going viral. I don't think that going viral should be the goal. I think that creating quality content should be the goal if you're going to be creating content. I mean, well, realistically, everything is content at this point with photos, pictures, all these different things. I think that creating quality over quantity is so much more admirable this day and age. Because cool, you have something viral, but now there's nothing for anyone to look at beside that, and you feel like you're going to be in the shadow of that viral thing for the rest of the time that you're creating. And oftentimes, things that go viral aren't true to who you are as a creative. I think it's really important to put everything into each thing that you do. Don't halfway do anything, but also put it out there. Because it might not be exactly how you see it, but you can get it as close as possible, put it out there because your next thing is going to be your best thing. I think that I'd have a little bit of an advantage because before I realized that I was a creative person, I am the type of person who likes to create systems and routines and schedules and all these different things. And so I was able to bring that aspect of organization into my creative flow. It's really helped me because if I want to become a photographer, by the end of the year, I have a full-time job and I have all these different responsibilities. I'm going to set aside an hour this week to go out and take 10 photos. And then the next week, I'm going to do the same thing. And then I'm going to grow it from there and grow it from there and grow it from there. Step out to the degree that you know that you can succeed in. Don't put these goals of putting out 3 videos a day from the jump. Grow into that. Make realistic expectations for yourself that you can follow through with, because follow through is the most important thing when it comes to creating stuff. If your favorite director directed your favorite movie of all time but never put it out for anyone to see, what was the point? It's like that saying about the tree falling in the forest doesn't make a sound. If I'm making all this cool stuff but I'm never showing it to anybody, is there a point to doing it? I think that it's important to create for yourself, but there is so much stuff that you're creating to inspire other people, because someone's going to see what you did and be inspired by that and create something even better. And then maybe you see that and then you're inspired, and we just continue to like push the envelope of what creativity looks like. I believe that the best art and the most creative things have yet to be created. Don't allow comparison to kill your dream. Don't allow comparison to kill your creativity. Follow through and go for it. The worst thing that can happen is nothing, and nothing is already happening. My best advice is to start. Something that you can do easily, accomplish it, and it's going to be like a snowball effect, and you're going to get into a zone and you're going to start to enjoy what you're doing. And if you feel like it's something that you're like, okay, I want to put this out, then just do it. If you have that little inkling, just do it, because you're going to learn from it. You're going to be better from it. You're going to be encouraged by it. I'm so surprised and encouraged by the response that I've gotten since kind of putting myself out there on the internet more. Like, my friends have been so encouraging and so helpful. They're like, hey, this video was awesome. Or like, hey, this video that you put out was really cool. This is something maybe you should try next time. And I'm like, great, that's such a good idea. And it's just brought the quality of what I'm doing to a better place, because they have a perspective that I don't have, like I said earlier. And so bringing in these perspectives and respecting other creatives is only going to help us to grow as a creative community. I was talking to my friend Nikita, shout out Nikita, the other day, and she's talking about getting into photography more. And so she was like, typically what I would do is I would go and buy all the equipment and all the different things, and then I would start to go out and do it, but now I'm in debt, and now I have to work to pay off the debt that I used to buy all the things that I needed, and I'm not even doing the things that I wanted to do previously. I think that a lot of us think like that. I know for me, when I'm like, okay, I want to start doing video, I want to get the coolest camera of all time. I want to get this, whatever it is, all the accessories. I think, what do you have right now in your hands? You have a phone. Maybe you already have a camera. Maybe you already have a canvas. Maybe you already have whatever it is. What do you have in your hands? Okay. Now, what can you do to the best of your ability with what's in front of you? How can you make that the best quality piece that you've ever created? I think that, again, with our research and trying to figure out problems ahead of time, or trying to be inspired by other people, the same thing can happen when it comes to equipment and accessories for the creative process. You don't need all this stuff. You have the idea here. You have the tools in front of you. Use the tools in front of you, become a master of those tools, and then start to add in different things to improve your process. Because when you look back 6 months from now and you've been on a consistent schedule of doing these things, you're going to be like, wow, I can tell the difference between then and now. And I think that's what's really cool about what I'm doing, is I look back to the very first vlog that I ever made, and I'm like, that was cool for what it was. And now we're 70 episodes in, and I feel like I've got it down quite a bit more, and I'm like, wow, that first one was cool, but number 70 is fire, and I feel like once I get to 100, I'll be like, oh, this is even better. 70 was a joke. The next thing that I create is always going to be the best thing. And I just want to encourage you to put yourself out there, create. You're a creative person. You got this. Just start. Give yourself a deadline and follow through. Follow through, follow through, follow through. Vulnerable moment in the midst of all this. I shot this whole video on my camera, and I underexposed it. So when I put it into the program, it did not look cool. But the take that I had and what I said and the way that I phrased everything was chef's kiss, perfect, exactly how I wanted it. So I've been recording this several times over, and in my mind, I've had to get over comparing this work to that work because I feel like I hit it out of the park the first time. And every take that I've done, I've been comparing to, and I've had to come out of that because this take is my best take. No one else knows what that first take looked like. No one else knows what was said in that first take. But this is the take that matters because this is the take that people are going to see. And so my little learning moment in the midst of all this has been that. If you made it to the end of the video, shout out to you. You deserve a gold star. Thank you so much for watching. I'm told to tell you to like and subscribe. So if you haven't done that, you should do that because I enjoy making these videos and I want everyone to see. So thank you again. I'll blow you a kiss.